Okay, let's talk about something really important. In an emergency, every single second counts, and knowing how to control severe bleeding, that can literally be the difference between life and death. So, we're going to walk through the clear, actionable steps you need to know to save a life.
Think about it for a second. It's a situation nobody ever wants to be in, right? But being prepared, that's your superpower. And I promise you, by the time we're done with this, your answer to that question is going to be a confident yes. And you know, it doesn't have to be some huge, dramatic event. It can happen on a totally normal day, doing something completely ordinary, just like this, a bike ride. An accident can just happen in a split second, with no warning at all.
Okay, so your heart starts pounding, adrenaline kicks in. What you do in these next few moments is so important. Let's break down what that very first step should be.
So before you jump in and do anything, you've got to understand what you're up against. And when it comes to bleeding, it all comes down to one thing: volume.
So check this out. The average adult has about 5 to 6 quarts of blood in their body. Now that might sound like a lot, right? But the scary part is how fast it can be lost.
And this is where it gets really serious. Losing just 1 quart of that blood, and that's only about a liter, can happen fast. And that's enough to send someone into shock. That's when the body's vital organs aren't getting enough blood, and it can lead to death quickly. For a kid, it's even less. Seriously, time is not on your side here.
Okay, so your first job is to figure out exactly what you're looking at, because not all bleeding is created equal. The way the blood is coming out, well, that tells you everything you need to know about where it's from and how bad it is.
All right, this is super helpful. It's all about the visual clues. If you see blood literally spurting from the wound, and I mean, it can shoot several feet, that's arterial bleeding. That's the most serious one you've got to worry about. If it's a steady flow or a gush, that's from a vein. And if it's just kind of oozing like what you'd probably see in our bike accident scenario, that's capillary bleeding. That's the most common and thankfully the easiest to handle. Your eyes are your best tool right at the start. You know, what's pretty amazing is that before you even do a single thing, the body has its own built-in first aid kit, and it's already at work. So as soon as a blood vessel gets cut, it instinctively tightens up, trying to slow down the bleeding on its own. It's like it's squeezing shut. At the exact same time, these little things in your blood, called platelets, are like a tiny emergency crew. They rush to the scene and start building a clot. But here's the catch. That whole process takes about 10 minutes. And with severe bleeding, you just don't have 10 minutes to spare. The body is trying, but it definitely needs your help. And that's your cue. This is where you come in. And forget all the crazy stuff you see in the movies. There's one simple, super effective technique that you absolutely have to know.
And this says it all, right? This comes straight from the experts. The single most effective method for controlling bleeding is direct pressure. That's it. It's simple, it's powerful, and it saves lives. Don't overcomplicate it. Your own 2 hands are the best tool you've got.
Okay, but wait. Before you touch anything, listen up, because this part is non-negotiable. You protect yourself first, always. If you've got gloves, put them on. If not, grab layers of cloth, a t-shirt, even a plastic bag. Just do not touch blood with your bare hands if you can possibly avoid it. It's simple. You can't help anyone if you get hurt too. All right, you're safe, you're protected. Let's get to it. Here are the exact steps for applying direct pressure.
Step 1. Get the clothing out of the way. You need to see exactly where the blood is coming from. Step 2. Grab a sterile gauze pad, or just the cleanest piece of cloth you can find, and put it right over the whole wound. 3. Use the palm of your hand and press down, hard. And here's the most important part. You have to hold that pressure. Don't let up. Don't peek to see if it's working. You're giving the body's clotting system the backup it needs. Now, what if the blood soaks through? Don't freak out. Just stack another cloth right on top of the first one and press even harder.
I'm going to say this again because it is so important. Whatever you do, do not remove a dressing once it's soaked with blood. Why? Because that dressing is now part of the clot that's trying to form. If you pull it off, you're just going to rip that clot right open and the bleeding starts all over again. You'll undo everything you just did. Remember, always add more on top, never take away.
Now, are there times you shouldn't use direct pressure? Yes, absolutely, and they are critical to know. Do not press on an eye injury. Don't press if there's an object, like a piece of glass or metal, actually stuck in the wound. And don't press on what you think might be a skull fracture. In those situations, pushing down could do way more harm than good.
So what happens if you're doing everything right? You're applying firm, direct pressure,
and the bleeding just won't stop. For really severe bleeding from an arm or a leg, there is one more option, but this is reserved for the absolute worst-case scenarios.
And that option is a tourniquet. A tourniquet is basically a band you wrap super tightly around an arm or leg to completely stop the blood flow. Let me be clear, this is a last resort. We're talking about life-threatening, uncontrolled bleeding from a limb that direct pressure just isn't fixing.
So there you have it. We've walked through how to see what kind of bleed you're dealing with, what the body is already doing to help, and the number one thing you can do to stop it. You have the knowledge now, it's yours. So the only question is, when that moment comes, are you ready?